Hi guys! In this video we're going to be looking at distance, speed and time calculations, and we're going to be learning to calculate the speed travelled, otherwise known as the average speed, over a set distance and time. Now I strongly recommend starting off by looking at the distance video on this, because that's a good entry point and it's probably one of the easiest ones to work out. In this video we're going to be looking at speed. Now, this diagram here is just a handy visual aid to help you work out one of the unknown values as long as we have the other two values. So in this case, we're trying to work out the speed. Now, if I cover over the speed here, this diagram tells us exactly what we need to do. So distance and time are the two things that we need to use. And we can see that from the diagram, we have distance over time. Now, if you look at that, that looks a bit like a fraction. And that's because that's exactly what it's meant to be. To work out the speed, or s, we have to do the distance divided by the time. That's all that fractions are. Fractions are just fancy division sums. So distance over time, another way of writing that would be s equals d divided by t. Now why this is will hopefully become clear over the course of this video, but let's start off by looking at a couple of examples. So, a fairly simple example to start off with here. We're being told that we have just travelled a distance of 20 kilometres, and the time it took us to do that was 1 hour. And we're being asked, how fast were we going? What was our average speed over that time? Well, we can work that out quite easily if we just think about the way speed is measured. So we're going to be measuring the speed here in kilometres per hour. So we're being asked, how far were we going every hour? The per hour bit is key. So every hour, how far were we going? Well, we were going 20 kilometres every hour. So it's 20 kilometres per hour. Well, that seems quite easy because we didn't really have to do anything there. But what happens if we change this to 2 hours? So we're not going 20 kilometres every hour now, we're going 20 kilometres in 2 hours. Well, this is a little bit different. We still want to work out, though, our speed is still going to be in kilometres per hour. It's not going to be kilometres for 2 hours. Speed is in kilometres per hour. So we're going to have to do a bit of work now. Now, we discovered earlier that to work out the average speed, we do the distance divided by the time. So let's try that and see what sort of answer we get. So we know that our distance is 20, and we know that our time is 2 hours. So 20 divided by 2, well, that's 10. So theoretically then, we were travelling at a speed of 10 kilometres per hour. And that makes sense. If you're doing 10 kilometres per hour and you're doing it for 2 hours, then after 2 hours you'll have gone 20 kilometres. 10 kilometres in the first hour, plus another 10 in the second hour. Here's another quick example then. And you'll see this time we have different units. Before we had kilometres and hours, this time we have metres and seconds. So we're being asked, how fast would we be going if we ran 36 metres in 4 seconds? Well, let's try and work that out then. So we know that speed is distance divided by time. So our distance is 36, and we're dividing it by the time, which is 4 seconds. 36 divided by 4, well, we can do our 4 times table until we get to 36, and we will get the answer 9. Therefore, we were going 9 metres per second in this example. So here's a few other examples for you to work through. You can pause the video and try and work through them yourself. The slightly less challenging ones are at the top, and the slightly harder ones are at the bottom. Pause the video, and I'm going to go through the answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay guys, so distance is here. We've got 14 kilometers and we're doing it in 2 hours. So that is going to be 14 divided by 2. And so we're going 7 kilometers per hour. 240 kilometers in 4 hours. That's going to be 240 divided by 4. Now, you could do this as a formal division sum. However, you should just be able to use your knowledge of the 4 times table and see that this is basically just 24 divided by 4 with an extra 0 in the end. In other words, 60 kilometers per hour. Now this last one here, I would do as a proper formal division sum, and that's what I'm going to do here. So we have another sort of bullet speed here, something very, very fast, going 972 meters in just 3 seconds. So we're going to have 972 divided by 3. So how many 3s are in 9? 3 of them. How many 3s are in 7? 2 with 1 remainder. How many 3s are in 12? 4. So 324, and it's going to be meters per second. So there you go guys, that's how you do it. If you need to work out the speed, you just do the distance divided by the time, or distance over time. Cheers guys!